Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and let's get into this PTSD edition of RHOP, where they back at the vineyard, like they don't have history at the vineyard. But let's just get into it, child. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And I have one super thanks to shout out. Shout out to Yvette Greer. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all your support. Now, child, let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode opens up with Ashley stopping by Candace's house, which is absolutely beautiful, by the way. Candace is saying how Ashley is actually the one who brought her into this group. And they have more in common than any of the other ladies. They are closest in age. They come from the pageant life, all that stuff. But they don't kick it like that. Candace said, especially when Ashley's being... I said, okay then. So they sit down and talk, and Candace, of course, starts out by asking Ashley about her news that's all over these internet streets. Ashley said originally the plan was for she and Michael to release this joint statement, but somehow her business leaked, and after her business leaked, Michael took a leap. Michael jumped on a plane and went to Las Vegas right after he had just had a vasectomy. I guess he going to celebrate, child. Candace is looking like, girl, what the fuck? He did what now? But you could tell Candace don't want to make any sudden moves and alarm her and make her stop telling her business, so she just kind of froze and said, oh. Okay. Ashley said Michael had been ignoring her, but he finally responded to say, look, just give me a day. I need a whole day. I need a good 24 hours to deal with this before I can deal with you, all right? So Candace said, well, do you think he's upset about everything coming out? She said, yeah, I do. You know, I think he feels like he doesn't have any autonomy. Girl, he has all the autonomy. He has no anonymity. That's his issue. He can't do his dirt in the dark. You got a spotlight on him. That's his problem. So Candace asked her, how does y'all's separation qualify legally if y'all still in the same house? I don't understand. Is that how that works? Ashley said, well, when you have kids, yeah. The court makes a lot of provisions for people with children. So yes, we are legally separated even though we live in the same house. As long as we don't share a bed or share our bodies with each other, then, you know. Ashley said, she too deep in my damn business. She started trying to change the subject real quick. She said, so what's going on with you? Your hair looks good. Candace said, yeah, I mean, it's doing what it do, but other than that, I'm in quite the funk. Ashley said, well, the thing about this group is they'll pull you out of a funk quick. Candace said, hell no, they won't, because they the reason I'm in this funk. I had to quit IVF behind this damn group. Y'all was stressing me out. Ashley didn't offer the girl the first, I'm sorry to hear that, how you doing, is you okay? She just skipped straight over and went straight to the mess. Girl, I don't give a damn about you and your IVF. So, did you talk to Giselle at that family fun day? Candace said, no. Ashley said, well, has Chris at least decided to acknowledge Giselle's feelings and apologize? That's another no. Candace said, no, he's not comfortable. And Ashley is acting like she's just utterly, he's not, what? Before we go a step further, did your husband acknowledge and apologize to anybody for the asses he grabbed and the passes he made on TV? Did he apologize while you sit here with this fake shock and outrage? Candace said Chris is not comfortable apologizing or being around the group since Giselle's accusations. And Ash says, oh my God, really? Candace said, look, I know Giselle, and I have witnessed her in action hatching her evil plots, so I know what she's capable of. And you know better than me, because you've known her longer, you know her better. That's your friend. You know what she's up to. Ashley said, yeah, she's got a few of my secrets in that box of hers. Yeah, we know. Ashley has sold her soul to so many devils, it's not even funny. Michael has primary ownership and rents her ass out. Now, we've seen her write a statement on Candace on Monique's behalf as get back and because Monique had her secrets. Now it's Giselle. Ashley is literally this little devil that serves as a minion to whatever larger entity she is giving her loyalty to at the moment. Candace said, yeah, well, speaking of those secrets Giselle got on you, let's talk about a couple of them. First of all, I had heard that you were seen out interviewing your next potential sponsor, some hockey player. What's going on with that? Ashley said, well, yeah, that's true. She met a guy at a bar and they went to dinner and they had a good time, but she finds herself constantly comparing everyone to her dad, Michael. You know, Michael can talk about anything, even aliens. And if you can't talk about aliens, you can just pay the bill and keep it moving. Girl, no, what it is Michael entertains you on your level. That's what's going on. Michael caters to the fact that Ashley really is not that smart, but Ashley doesn't know that she's not that smart. Ashley thinks that because she speaks with a certain tone and diction, that indicates intelligence, but it does not. So what Michael does is entertain her at the levels that she's capable of. And she thinks that these are matters of substance and intelligence. And if I entertain her, she will think that I think she's a person of substance and intelligence. It's a mind game that he's playing with you to keep you in check and make you think he actually takes you seriously when he does not. Ashley's kind of shocked that Candace even knows that. She said, well, damn, people talk. Candace said, girl, I get all kinds of information, all kinds of stuff come to me, stuff I don't even want comes to me. Ashley said, yeah, that's the perfect opportunity to get off my ass. Let's change the subject. Yeah, you know, speaking of getting information that you don't even ask for, I used to get information by Karen and Ray all the time. And Candace took the bait. Candace, oh yeah, Karen? Yeah, Karen used to think she was sneaking out of town, but we see you, girl. Ashley said, with who? By herself? Candace said, no, with someone other than Ray. And of course, Bravo gives us the flashback of Sharice outing Karen about her having some boyfriend that she calls Blue Eyes. Candace must be a damn gymnast, because Candace jumped straight from talking about Karen right back into Ashley's business. Yeah, back to you. Yeah, now that you and Michael are splitting up, I personally believe you deserve to go out and have you a good Miss Jackson if you're nasty kind of good time. Ashley starts with the court TV bullshit, but well, I'm not divorced yet. But I am separated, and I do think Michael has already gotten out there. Candace said, please don't piss me off. Don't get me started with that bullshit. Michael been out there. Michael ain't never not been out there. Like, girl, bye. Child, Candace had to catch herself. I mean to drag you and your prayerfully soon-to-be ex-husband, child. Candace said, it's just that this is very highly anticipated, and I'm happy for you. So we move on to Mia and Gordon's house, where they at home pretending to be fancy when they full of shit. They're about to eat on their patio outside, and Mia's saying how they refuse to eat without a centerpiece on their table. Girl, So Mia and Gordon and their kids are sitting down having lunch, and they start the conversation talking about having opened their 25th clinic. And Mia is saying how she's exhausted. She don't want to do it again. She's tired because opening these clinics are a lot of work. Well, darling, I think you might have gotten your wish since you said the family fired y'all and locked y'all out. Gordon brings up the mystery of Mia's health. This fool looked at him and said, well, what about it? Girl, that's the question. What about it? What is going on? You just left this unfinished story out here. Gordon said, well, we've ruled out a lot of things, but we still don't know what's going on. So Mia says in the confessional that they have ruled out cancer, but she does still have to go through surgery to have these lumps removed and try to figure out what is actually causing them in the first place. Now, I ain't completely sure what the hell went on after that, because the kids was running around screaming like they ain't trying to film a scene. I'm not listening to that shit. At some point, some way, they got around to talking about a girl's trip to Miami. Apparently, Mia is planning a trip for all the ladies to go to Miami, where she is originally from. And that prompts her to share some story about she and Gordon and how she had gone on a girl's trip to Miami 14 years ago with some girlfriends, including the sister wife, Jacqueline. And, Gordon came down and crashed the party. So Gordon is sitting at the lunch table reminiscing about how good Miami has been to them. And she's asking, well, why was it so much fun, Daddy G? You just literally marry y'all's daddy's issues. It's sad. Well, he can't say in front of the kids what he's reminiscing about, but Mia has no problem letting us know. She's in the confessional saying how she and her girls were on a trip to Miami 14 years ago. Gordon was very happily married to his ex-wife, or so he said. He must not have been that happy because he was in Miami with me. They had sex on the beach, and they put on a show because they knew people were watching. And she did everything but pop on a handstand. Use up. She is clearly very proud and feels very accomplished. I know trash day get confusing at your house. So we move on and we see Giselle hanging out with her daughters. They're going for Manny's and Petty's. They're getting ready for her twins' sweet 16th. And so they get to the nail shop. They sit down for the girls to get their manicures. Giselle sits down at the pedicure chair. They put the towel on the footrest where everybody's feet done been. The towel that they done used on a whole bunch of other people's feet, and I don't care if they washed it with 10 bottles of bleach. It's been on a bunch of damn people's feet. Giselle picks the damn towel up and blots her face. Her daughter looked absolutely disgusting. Her daughter said, "You are nasty." I about died. Child, because yes, you is. Why? Why? I don't give a damn about no shine. Get you some powder, a sponge, something. Why would you put that footsie towel on your face? Girl, ew. Anyway, they're going over the party checklist trying to get ready. And the one thing these girls want Giselle to understand is you will not be having a moment. Not at our party. She wants to make a speech and they say you got 90 seconds. We don't give a damn who paying for this shindig. We don't care nothing about that. You will not be in our spotlight and you will not embarrass us. Them children know they mama. Giselle is trying to convince the kids to let her have a moment by telling them, well, I won't turn it into a sermon like your daddy would. And they said, we don't give a damn. Y'all ain't neither one of y'all getting a moment. Both of y'all will be sitting in the kiddie section until y'all learn how to act. So we move on and we see Robin going to meet with an attorney to discuss a prenuptial agreement. They sit down to talk and she fills her in on the background of their situation, that she is remarrying her ex-husband. They were married once before with a prenup, but by the end of the marriage, they didn't need the prenup because they were broke and now they want to get married again. You know, typical toxic shit. The attorney said, okay, all right, well, yeah, that's well and good. But let's start off with a few questions. First of all, does he know you here? Robin said, yeah, he does, but he thinks it's unnecessary. I mean, I don't think it's unnecessary. The attorney said, well, that clue leads me to question 2. You do understand that when we do a prenuptial agreement, we have to lay out all the assets and divvy up who gets what belongs to who. So having said that, is there a disparity in income between y'all? Is that part of the reason you in here and he don't think it's necessary? Robin kind of hesitated for a minute and she said, yeah, actually there is a disparity in income because I have a couple successful businesses. And if we're discussing prenuptial agreements, I would like to figure out how to protect those. I would like those to be excluded from any potential claim in the event of divorce. So Robin goes on to pose question 3. Question 3 is, can we put an infidelity clause in this agreement? Because, that was an issue in their first go around and it was the cause for the first divorce. And she doesn't want to be naive about the possibility of that coming around again in the second marriage. Now, here's my thing. I get that Juan was unfaithful and that is a problem, but you can be unfaithful in more than just sex. You can be financially unfaithful, and financial ruin or downfall at the hands of your partner is one of the deepest betrayals you will ever experience. It's like Robin wants clauses to hold him accountable for how he ruined the marriage. But what about clauses to hold you accountable for how you ruined the marriage? I don't like the idea of trying to skate around and skirt any accountability because you're a woman and you want to play the victim. Yes, you were cheated on and yes, that was wrong, but you also financially ruined this man and it's starting to look like it might have been a sabotage. If the tables were turned and Robin had married Juan when she was up and he was down and he brought her down, we would never hear the end of it. So I don't get why she gets to be a victim to the circumstances that she created. So we move on. We see Karen, Ashley, and Wendy getting together at a tulip field. They're going to pick flowers and spill tea, child. Well, Karen and Ashley get there first. All of them outside, underdressed, shaking in the cold like a stripper. Karen said, well, you know what? This is the perfect condition for some hot tea. Let's get in your business, Ashley. How you doing? Ashley just starts spilling. I'm good. You know, Michael just had his procedure. Karen said, what procedure? He got snipped? Are you happy about that? How do you feel? Girl, I could give 2 shits. You would give 2 shits fly. You would give 2 shits fly. Because we just watched you sitting with the Children for Checks crew crying about how he done shut the bank down. She said, all I know is he better not call me if his stuff swells up and he ends up in the ER. Girl, just say he interrupted your financial plan and you are pissed about it. What it is now that you're talking to Karen. And you know that Karen will drag you to your face and talk cash about your situation. You want to play like you don't give a damn. Girl, you gave all the dams just the other day. So Wendy pulls up and she followed Karen's lead. She went straight into asking Ashley how she's doing because, I saw everything online. Ashley tells Wendy, well, yeah, I don't know who leaked it and I'm just not ready to talk about it. Girl, wasn't you just talking to Karen about it? So they start picking flowers and they're talking about their homes and gardens and children. Karen said, well, speaking of children, Wendy, I was kind of sad to not see your kids at Robin's family fun day. Wendy said, the problem is Robin cannot invite my kids and don't invite me. She can't have Candace call me, but can she come get my minor children? Hell no. Karen says, well, both of you are very emotional and you have to get past all the emotions to get to a better place. Wendy said, yeah, that's true, but she wants Robin to meet her halfway because misconceptions about each other are very, very common in this group. And she feels like the best thing to do, since there are so many issues going on right now, is to bring the group together and let everybody air out their grievances. So she's decided she's going to send a group text to invite everybody to come together and get it off their chest. Now, Wendy's in the confessional saying that initially her feelings were hurt by not being invited to Robin's family fun day. However, she does receive that she can be condescending at times. So she's taking accountability for whatever she feels like she might have contributed to the friction that's going on. And we see a clip of Wendy, Mia, and Ashley talking. They're all talking to Wendy about how she can come across condescending sometimes. And Wendy's listening to them and taking it in. And I thought this was just very grown woman of Wendy. I loved it. This is the Wendy that I fell in love with, because I can tell you, Wendy had pissed me off last season. She was working my nerves, but I think, she done settled into the new body and she's calmed down some. And so we back. So as they're talking about Wendy planning to send this group text to invite the whole group, Ashley starts interjecting about, well, maybe you should text Giselle and Ashley separately, because y'all do have deeper issues. Wendy said, no, I'm not, because I need them to understand that I'm not singling them out and that the language that I'm using applies to everybody. I just want to come together and clear the air. This is not a matter of singling them out. Ashley is steady pushing about, but you may need to single them out because y'all have a deeper issue. Wendy said, just stop. And I'm glad Wendy shut her down, because it was Ashley that started all that the other season. It was Ashley that went running dog bones back and forth between Wendy and Giselle. And Giselle said such and such and yada yada, and started all that shit and then slinked her little snaky home. I'm so glad she told her to be quiet. I got this, because you always got your spoon in the cauldron stirring shit. Mind your business. So we move on to Candace and Chris's house, where Candace, Chris, and Candace's sister Crystal are getting ready to have wine time. They're just hanging out in the house. As Candace and Chris are sitting talking, her sister enters the room in full self-care mode. She said, I know we're supposed to be doing wine time, but welcome to my world. I'm doing self-care today. I will hang out with y'all, but I cannot indulge in the wine. And Candace said, why, girl? You're not coming here floating on a cloud, but you can't have no, why? She said, well, I can't because I'm recovering from a migraine from drinking wine all day the other day. So I will hang out with you all, but I'm going to remain in recovery, okay? Crystal said, now I might not be able to drink, but I'm still useful. She goes and pours the wine for them and gives them their glasses. And Candace just wants to know, why didn't you put this in the Olivia Pope glass? Because I'm about to be on my Olivia Pope, tearing these bitches down. Her sister handed her that glass like, you better take this shit before I put it in a red cup. So they're all sitting down talking, and Candace catches her sister up on what's going on with her album. Well, Candace is getting ready to release a deluxe version of her album, Deep Space. And on the deluxe version of the album, there's going to be a new single that is going to be featuring rapper Trina. Oh, you sound like a big deal. Oh, okay then. Crystal said, who? Trina, who's this? Chris damn me offended. Crystal, you don't know Trina, the baddest bitch? You don't know now. You don't know Trina? Crystal said, if it ain't Beyonce, I don't know who it is, child. When I saw Candace pass her sister the phone with a Google search of Trina, I said, you serious? Candace had to help her get this in perspective. Let me help you understand who Trina is. so you know how much respect to put on my name. Let me tell you, I have yet to listen to Candace's album. I haven't heard anything from it yet, but it must be some damn good work, because not only does she have Trina being featured on her album, the Anita Baker endorsed her on Twitter. I said, well, damn. When Auntie Nita say this girl got a good out child, when the Nita Baker say, girl, you did this, girl, you did this. Shit. Well, Candace does come off of her cloud to catch them up about what's going on with this old bullshit job. She told them about the invitation to Wendy's burn session. We gonna see how that goes. And she mentioned that Ashley had stopped by the house, and that was Chris's cue to get up and go. I ain't got time. I don't want to hear nothing but these bitches on your job. Well, that leaves Crystal and Candace to their own devices, and they talk about how they had seen Ashley's announcement on the internet and how they're actually very happy for her. And speaking of Ashley, we move on and see Ashley and Wendy together getting ready to ride to this vineyard where they're going to air it all out, child. Just please don't let it be a flashback. Now, for some reason, Wendy has decided to include us in all of her medical issues this year. She starts the conversation about how she's dealing with some kidney stones. And she's dealing with kidney stones because she's not taking in enough water. And she's not taking in enough water because she's too busy to be having to go to the bathroom. Girl, if you don't drink some damn water. So as Ashley and Wendy are on their way to the vineyard, we see all the other ladies loading into a Sprinter that Wendy had booked for them. Robin gets on the Sprinter talking shit from the giddy up. I'm only going to be nosy. Well, girl, you could have had Giselle FaceTime you. Giselle is all excited when she saw Robin, but Robin said she wasn't coming. I didn't think she was coming. Mia said, I didn't think anybody was coming because nobody responded to the invite. Robin said, yeah, because it was the fakest invite I've ever seen. Child, stay home next time. If you come in knowing that you got a bad attitude and you about to start shit, stay home. Now, speaking of fake, yeah, Ashley and Wendy are on their way to the vineyard, and they are trying to muster some sort of conversation. So Wendy starts out by asking Ashley, are you a wine drinker? And she said, well, you know, I've been trying to be sober, but with going through everything I'm going through, yeah, I'm drinking. I try to give myself grace, and I hope you do too. Wendy starts talking to Ashley about how we have glorified the booked and busy culture where we're always busy, we're always going. And she doesn't want to be booked and busy anymore. She wants to be booked and balanced, okay? And she realized that when her mom was recently rushed to the hospital over elevated labs, and she said that was a very eye-opening moment for her. It made her realize that if she doesn't take care of herself, she's going to be dealing with the same health issues her mom deals with in 30 years. So after this whole HIPAA chat, we arrive at the vineyard almost 2 hours later. Well, Candace is triggered immediately. She said she is having PTSD from her last vineyard experience, and child, I don't blame her. So ladies all enter the cabin. They are sitting down to be served, and Giselle digs straight into Ashley's business. She said, so yeah, you know your business out there, and they throwing a meme party on the internet celebrating you getting divorced from this man. Ashley said, yes, I'm aware. I've seen all the memes, and I love that people are happy for me and they support me, but not at the expense of Michael. You, your delusion, and your groper granddad husband go play somewhere in hell. Because what exactly did you think the internet was going to say? What did you think they were going to say about this man? And in the very next breath, Candace is saying, he's not really communicating. Actually, he called the other day, he FaceTimed, and he talked with the kids, and as soon as he was done talking with the kids, he just hung up the phone. Yet here you are, like the fool he knew you would be defending him. Giselle said the trolls are really trolling when it comes to Michael Darby, but she can't really be mad at it. But she does understand how it feels. No. Y'all are upset that people see past the image and narrative that you're trying to create and won't participate in your willful, blind ignorance to who these men are and how they really get down. Y'all marry for money and status and then try to sell us a love story and we ain't buying it. Giselle said, you know, it's just not a good feeling to know that everyone thinks your husband is a creep. But girl, first of all, we know Michael is a creep. And so did Ashley before she ever had any babies for that man. Furthermore, so now we're trying to defend violators. as you actively try to take Chris down over a hunch in your gut when we know Michael done had a handful of butt. Mia said, look, what is this burn session? Because y'all starting to get into pervy husbands, and before y'all make y'all way all the way around the table, let's get to why we here. Wendy explains to her that the burn session is they will all get a notepad. Whoever is in the hot seat, you write down how you feel about that person, you share how you feel, and then you burn how you feel. And the end goal of the game is for the person in the hot seat to take some level of accountability for how you've made other people feel. In the confessional, Giselle said she hasn't known Wendy to take accountability for anything since she's known her, so she's all ears. And Wendy said, well, it takes two to tango. So I'm gonna need Giselle to take accountability for spreading the rumors that she was spreading. Wendy volunteers to go first, and because she knows she got a good few enemies in this group, she lays down some additional ground rules. You don't have to just pile on and tear a person down, okay? You can say positive things if you don't have anything negative to say about that person. So they go around the table. Ashley starts with a positive affirmation for Wendy opening up to the group. Candace follows that up by positively affirming that Wendy did come in with a wall, and she understands because she has a wall herself. But Wendy has let that wall down. She's opened up more, and she started to trust more of them in the group. And the positive affirmation that she'd like to offer Wendy is just getting money. Karen said that she and Wendy got off to a rough start when Wendy came in beating everybody upside the head with her 4 degrees, but they're in a better place now. Mia said, well, that positivity buck stops here. Mia said, when it comes to Wendy, I feel like Wendy can be dismissive, and I do not feel like she's taken accountability for anything up until today. Robin said, as far as I'm concerned, we are oil and water, we don't mix, and I'm okay with that. Now, at this point, I'm honestly trying to figure out, why is Robin so closed to even a conversation? Like, this is the forum to literally air your grievances, say what your issue is. You can at least clear the air, but she's not even willing to have the conversation. And Wendy let it be. Wendy said, okay, well, I received that. Giselle, you go ahead. Giselle says ditto and starts going on about how she was dragged for a year, and then Wendy had the nerve to come up and try to give her this fake and phony hug, and she's real good on her, especially after she talked about her the way she did. You mean like you do Karen and everybody else? So here go Ashley trying to be the mediator. Do you hear them? Do you hear what they're saying? Wendy says to Robin, okay, listen, you said we're oil and vinegar. Robin said oil and water. Oil and vinegar go together. And I don't with you. I don't like you. She said oil and water, vinegar, something. I don't give a damn. Whatever. You said we don't go together. All right. Well, I would like to take ownership for what I've done and how I've contributed to making you feel like we are oil and water. Robin is looking around and squinting her eye like this some bullshit. My thing is, I'll be the first to call bullshit. But I really felt like it was a good starting place for this conversation. You said we're oil and water and we don't mix. And I am taking accountability for how I have contributed to us not being able to mix. And why that is foundation for further fighting, I don't get it. So Candace interjects to try to facilitate peace and fill in the gaps where this misunderstanding is happening. So she starts saying to Wendy, listen, Robin has been very specific about how she's been hurt by you. So maybe you can be specific about your ownership. And Wendy said, well, I can only speak to what's on this paper. Well, here comes Giselle popping up from the pits of hell about ain't nobody got time to be writing soliloquies and sermons. You know what you did. Good God, just speak to it. I cannot tell y'all how hard I screamed. Giselle, shut up. Candace and Wendy both say, well, she has to say specifically what her issue is. She didn't write anything down on the paper other than, we don't get along, I don't want nothing to do with you. Robin pipes up and says, you need to stop going around telling people that I tried to fight you. I said, well, what? Hold on now. I thought the issue was something else. So they show us a clip of Ashley, Mia, and Wendy out, and they're talking, And Ashley is asking Wendy, so do you really feel like Robin tried to attack you? Wendy said, well, she was approaching to the extent that she had to be restrained. So Robin tells her she needs to be careful with her words because she's painting her out to be a thug, and that's dangerous. Wendy said what's dangerous is you needing to be held back. Robin said, I did not have to be held back. I don't put my hands on people. Wendy said, well, maybe you were too drunk to remember. Maybe you were so drunk you don't remember what was going on. Now, Wendy, that's where you lost me. So they're going back and forth about whether Robin had to be held back. Wendy said, well, that's my truth. Robin said, your truth is a lie. And Robin decides to FaceTime Charisse because Charisse was the person in the middle. She asked Charisse in the middle of the dinner party, hey, did you have to hold me back from hitting Wendy? Charisse said no. So they show the clip of them arguing, Wendy telling Robin to stand in her truth. Robin getting up, I'm standing in my truth. I'm standing in it. And she's walking toward Wendy. Charisse gets up, puts her hands on her shoulders and tells her to sit back down. Now, Charisse said she was not holding her back to keep her from hitting Wendy, and she's gone on Twitter and doubled down on that. Charisse has said on Twitter that she did not get up to hold Robin back because she thought Robin was going to hit Wendy. She only intervened to calm the situation. She said Robin stood up when Wendy said, stand in your truth, and Robin also sat back down when Wendy said, sit down. So she feels like all of it was dramatic reaction. And this is true. However, from Wendy's perspective, if I'm the person who's being walked up on, I take any charging at me as a threat. Robin hangs up from Charisse, and Giselle is at the table screaming, why the lies? The lies! Girl, shut up! Wendy said, well, we each have our truths, and Giselle is steadily screaming like a banshee in these people's establishment. She just said she didn't touch Robin, and Robin is screaming, you're horrible! You're horrible! I'm gonna tell you the truth. I kind of understand the background of some of why Robin is upset with Wendy. I get some of their friction, but the real problem is Giselle. Giselle is the real shit starter. And in this moment, she's literally being an agent of chaos, where she is screaming for absolutely no reason. She is refusing any form of peace. Wendy said, why are you yelling? Robin said, because you're horrible. Well, here's the thing. Even if you feel that way, just sit down, talk, and communicate that. You lose the validity of your point and the violence of your energy. Wendy starts pressing her buttons about you need to control your emotions. That's what you need to do. Robin starts screaming, I don't give a fuck, like Little John on repeat. Girl, she stomps out, and as she's stomping out, you can see her kind of look over her shoulder to see if Giselle's coming. No. Giselle boosts your head up to make you act a damn fool and walk out on your job while she sit there and collect her check after she's satisfied with all the she done started. And while Wendy is probably just saying it to push her buttons, she's right. Robin needs to get control of her emotions. This whole flip out is a lack of emotional control. She lacks the ability to effectively express herself and how she feels, and so she just gets mad. So Robin stomps out, and she's saying how Wendy supposedly brought everybody together to fix everything, but she's still trying to prove me wrong, so she couldn't be trying to fix anything. But I don't understand. I do not understand, because y'all can have y'all's perspectives. This is how I feel. I feel like I don't like nobody walking up on me, and anybody walking up on me to me is a trigger that somebody want to fight. I can have that perspective from my side of the table, and we can have a conversation about how we feel to meet somewhere in the middle and come to some sort of understanding or agreement. But the conversation has to start somewhere, and Robin is not even willing to participate in the conversation. Karen says she don't understand why Robin just got up and stomped out. I don't know what's going on. Giselle said, well, she can leave fake and phony if she wants to. Girl, it's not fake and phony. It's a conversation. Like, if it's going to be fake and phony, let that happen, but at least let the conversation unfold. Karen said, okay, Giselle, why did all the screaming come from y'all's side of the table? We're trying to have a civil conversation and you and Robin are sitting here just screaming like crazy people. Why? Giselle said, well, because I like to talk loud. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Giselle is absolutely ratchet and embarrassing, and she thinks it's cute. You have 3 daughters watching you. So they're carrying on about this disaster of a conversation, and Wendy said, this is not how therapy works. Mia and Giselle said this was supposed to be therapy. Well, where's the therapist? Because all them degrees you got ain't none of them in psychology. So where's the therapist? Well, now that Robin done stomped out, that leaves an opening for some more starting. So Ashley decides, I got something for Candace. Hey, yeah, Candace, I just wanted to let you know that my girlfriend came to me and told me that at the spring fling, Chris was pretty flirty with her. Candace, so what is the purpose of this when you were just at my house? Why are you telling me this bullshit in front of this group of ladies when you just was sitting at my house? And that's the exact same thing I was wondering. Where you come from with this when you were just at this girl's house? She said, oh, she came to me after I came to your house. Use a she came to me after lie. Because that's the same shit you tried to tell her when y'all got together at that restaurant. When you got nervous and said, well, you know, a girlfriend said, girl, Candace said so. You couldn't have called me or texted me. You decided to wait till, well, I knew I was going to see you in person. And so I decided it would be better to tell you face to face. You would rather me tell you face to face, right? Now, Candace says, I've come to you privately when it was your husband out of respect. And of course, they showed the footage of Candace not coming to her so privately. It was in front of Giselle and a camera crew. But Candace has taken to Twitter to explain that she addressed it on camera because she got the text on camera. Now, here's my thing. In all fairness, for all we know, she could have arranged to receive this text on camera so that she could address this information that she had received on camera. At the end of the day, it wasn't so private, but it was true. The difference is, how true is this mess you're bringing about Chris? Ashley said, well, I mean, you want to call Michael a predator every which way. Well, he is. He is. And Candace said, well, he is, isn't he? Isn't it documented in a court of law? And she said, no, actually, it's not. Why not? Is it because it went to arbitration and he paid some people off or something? I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm just kind of wondering. But I know that we have absolutely always seen Michael cross every boundary that there is. So calling Michael a predator is calling him by his name. Candace says, you know what it is? Y'all don't have nothing going on. So y'all decided y'all gonna bring drama to my door to get some shit started. She said, this is the 3rd time somebody's coming to me in this group about some bullshit about my husband. Ashley said, well, why are you getting defensive? She said, because I see the pattern and I'm not gonna ignore the pattern. I mean, if my husband is being accused of trying to touch and tangle with everybody in this group, I'm going to feel some type of way. Now, maybe you didn't have very much of a reaction when it was your husband because you already knew, your husband out there living his best life. So maybe you don't have much of a reaction, but I would be quite upset. So I get her being defensive. Ashley said, has anyone said anything to you about Chris in the past? Candace said, not to my face. Ashley said, no, they have not. So do you think that maybe Chris's behavior could be changing? As Candace is saying, no, I don't believe his behavior has changed. Ashley keeps going to say, because even Mia said he was looking at her at the spring party. Mia said he was. Of course, Bravo once again shows the footage of Chris looking at anything but Mia. They cut back to the table and Mia saying, yeah, I mean, he was looking at me, but I never said it was sexual. Ashley looked at her like, bitch, girl. Ashley looked like, how the hell you just gonna turn on the whole mission? Candace said, Chris is not doing these things. He's not. Ashley said, but he did. Ashley said, just remember, The pendulum swings both ways. It don't feel good, huh? Candace said, and there it is, there we have it. That's your damn problem. This is absolute get back for exposing Michael on camera. Candace is in the confessional saying she knew she should have kept her good eye on that bulbous forehead bitch. Lord, she knew she wasn't no good and she went against her better judgment. Candace said, you come from a place of vindictiveness, evilness, and nastiness. You're a vindictive, evil bitch. Ashley said, no. Ashley said, what do you want to just turn a blind eye? If you want to just turn a blind eye, say that. Candace said, you would know. Girl, child. Everybody looked away like a whole train wreck just happened. Just damn. Your face is on the floor over there. I don't know why they engage with Candace. Candace is a cannon. I don't know why they engage with her. Now Ashley embarrassed about I addressed my marriage and my husband very well. Now whether you do or not remains to be seen. And as a matter of fact, I've heard that Chris has been in other DMs and it's not so innocuous and innocent as mine. Girl, Ashley is so full of shit, it's not even funny. Ashley hates everything about Candace. And it's sad to see. I think she literally envies the fact that she did not have to go to the lengths that Ashley had to go to secure her lifestyle. And I think she despises Candace from a deep internal place, and she will do anything to take her down. Ashley is a complete Karen, and if I were Candace, I would stay far, far away from her. But that's it, that's all, and I ain't got no more child. They ain't even give a trailer for next week. They just, I guess we gonna pick up with Candace dragging Ashley to hell. That's my expectation. But that's it, that's all, and we ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here listening to me and letting me get it off my chest. As always, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.